hearing loss, if you live with it long enough, untreated, it can start to affect your cognitive ability to process and understand speech. So typically, the most common type of hearing loss is a high frequency hearing loss, where you start to lose the higher pitches. And when we break that down phonetically into speech sounds, it means that you're missing the enunciation sounds of speech, which would be the little wispy little beginning and ends of words. Okay. And you can only project those so loud. So if you were to, like if you said house, there's a little at the beginning or a s. And how loud can you really say at the beginning of how? Now, if you were going to
Exactly.
yell, it's a house. You're just yelling the vowel sound that comes from the vocal cord. But the little enunciation sound, the beginning of words, the fricatives, the consonants, we don't project these very loud. And they occur at a high frequency. So when you lose the high frequencies, you start to lose the clarity of speech. And I won't say who, okay? This has happened to, okay? All right. But they've shown that the best thing for that is amplification, okay? And amplification, you don't really regain that cognitive ability, but it does maintain it better than anything else.
So let's talk about the social and emotional toll that it can happen. What do you observe happening in people's relationships when hearing loss goes untreated? Or do you observe it?
Absolutely. You can always see the frustration involving a spouse, or a partner or a family member. It's well known in this industry that if you're gonna schedule somebody for a hearing test, you always want to get a third party or a family member to come with them, and they'll say we want to do a familiar voice test, this, that, and the other. But the real reason is because the percentage of people that will purchase a hearing aid or commit to a hearing aid, it goes up exponentially if you have a family member there to help them make the decision. And that's because it helps them face the facts, essentially. They can see the results of their exam. They can maybe do a hearing aid demonstration and they can see the benefit right away. So,
Yeah, hopefully. But I also see that not only in personal relationships, but I would imagine hearing loss helps affects people professionally as well, right? In their careers, workplace relationships. It's just people to people.
100%. I mean, really, what's life about if you can't connect with people? And if you can't talk to somebody or understand what they're saying, how are you going to do your job? How are you going to have a relationship with your spouse or your son or daughter? So those people, when they come in as third parties, they're often frustrated, or concerned, you know, and that's where, it's such a privilege for me to be able to help people with such a intimate problem. You have to have a real empathy for people. And I think that that's one of the things that makes me uniquely qualified for the position is that I have a pretty good imagination and I to talk to people and find out what really makes them tick and what's important to them and address that.
Well, you're being modest because number one, you're funny when you're in the room working with a patient and you really put them at ease. So I found that extremely helpful.